Why is it difficult to publish a book? But wait a minute, is it really that difficult? Is it not just to get a printer and then boom, you are published? But here is the thing, writing a book is one thing and publishing a book is another thing on its own. You can write all you can write but never get published, or maybe decide not to publish. Both are separate decisions which require different level of courage to pull out. But for me, I would say whoever had the right to write should also have the courage to also publish. Because I have seen many people who have published books but never really written anything. And while in the same vein, I have seen people who have written a lot of things but never got published. And their manuscripts are just there in the drawer gathering dust. It depends on who you are, what you want out of life, and who you want to become, and also what you care for. But if you've been writing for so long and never get published, and you are watching this video right now, I want you to pause a little bit just for a moment and ask yourself, is it not yet time for you to have something in your own name? I mean, it's not a bad idea at all. But that is where another dimension of work comes in, which is one of the major reasons why so many people are afraid to get published in the first place. Because it takes some certain level of courage, determination, and resilience for you to get your book published. And it doesn't matter the route you are following that you want your book to be published, whether it is the traditional way or the self-publishing way. Now, for most of you thinking that the self-publishing route can be literally easy, but let me tell you, it's not really easy, because at the end of the day, you are going to be the one to bear all the cost of what you did not even know whether it will work out or not. It's just a very big risk which requires some level of entrepreneurial spirit for you to pull it out. Now, for the traditional route, you ought to be more resilient and indefatigable by updating the level of your determination spirit. Because at the end of the day, no matter how good you think you are as a writer, you must get rejected. And don't think the rejection is going to be once or twice, 10 times or 20, but as many as it will require for you to get published. I guarantee you will hear so many no's, and as that keeps happening, the doors of the traditional publishing companies will keep slamming right in front of your face. Nothing you can do but just to reject rejection and keep going. As a matter of fact, rejection, the word rejection, don't supposed to sound strange in the ears of anybody that has ever tried to publish traditionally, or anyone who has ever published traditionally. Rejection is one of the fears of every writer, every author. It's a dreaded word, to be honest with you. And no matter how you hate it, you just have to face it and go through it. You are not the first to go through it, and probably you are not going to be the last person to go through it, because most of the bestsellers and renowned authors and the greatest of all time, they all passed through the phase of rejection and they came out strong. Now, this may sound funny, but this is how it usually starts. You have finished writing and polishing your manuscript and your synopsis and your query letter, and you are filled with enormous confidence that you are going to be the next big thing, maybe the next Harry Potter that is going to take on the literary world. And you believe that your work is going to be accepted, and then you're going to land a publishing deal just within a twinkling of an eye. But are you serious? Are you kidding me? But then you sent out the first email and it wasn't even replied. Then you are sitting there, days turns into weeks and weeks into months. And I can tell you out of experience, the waiting can be so crushing. Then suddenly you realize that the first email is not gonna work, that you need to send another email to another separate publisher or a literary agent. Then you kept sending your manuscript, and then all you kept getting was the sorry excuses of why your manuscript cannot be published. At first, you wouldn't take it seriously, but as time kept going on and then the track record of your rejection began to compound, then you became a little scared and frustrated. You think about it and then you resent everything and literally hated yourself just because of it. This is one of the biggest mistakes that most budding authors usually make. Most budding authors, for them, they took everything so seriously and too personally, because you can't blame them. There are so many things they do not know yet. First, they do not know that rejection is part of the publishing processes and one of the processes of becoming an author. This is not just only in the publishing business, it is applicable even in life general. For example, if you want to get married as a man, you can't just stop asking girls out just because a couple of girls told you that they are not interested, or because they declined your proposal, or because they told you that they are in a serious relationship. No, you keep on asking until you get what you want. And I think it's important for you to know that most of the greatest book of all time and the greatest authors of all times, all of them faced rejection during their own time. And it took a long time before they got published. And passing through the excruciating pains of rejections, the simple truth is that rejection is probably one of the major aspects of becoming a writer or an author. It pains a lot, no doubt, but are you going to endure it and go through it, or quit, or kill yourself just because of it, just as John Kennedy Tully did? John wrote the book A Confederacy of Joneses. He got so much rejection, and when he couldn't take it any longer, he committed suicide and killed himself in 1969. But his mother was very supportive of his work and took the manuscript to an author called Walker Percy. And Walker Percy helped John's mother to get the book published in 1980. In 1981, the book won the Pulitzer Prize. Now, John's story was a testament of impatience. If only John was patient enough to stick around just for a while. On the other hand, it's a testament of having supportive people who understand your dreams. And on the other hand, it's a testament of having a good support system in the journey of our lives, like his mother did and supported his dreams. John Kennedy's story was a tragic one, but we have so many authors who have gone through heartbreaking rejections, so many countless rejections, and still came out strong and untainted. For example, Kate DeCamillo became a bestseller after he was rejected for more than 473 times. J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potters, was rejected about 12 times, and including her also believe that it is more than that number. Elmo Leonard was rejected 84 good times by publishers and producers when she was trying to publish The Big Bounce, her first novel. But after the book was published, it was made into movie not once but twice. Now, what about Beatrice Potter and Proust? Beatrice Potter and Proust got so much rejection that at the end of the day they decided to self-publish, and a good thing they did because their book became successful. Even the almighty Stephen King's first novel, Carrie, was rejected about 30 times before it was finally picked up by a publisher. Now hear this. Jack Canfield and Mark Victor co-authored a book and sent it out to multiple publishers for publication, but was rejected. But they kept sending, and the more they sent, the more rejection they got. From 10 rejection to 20, from 80 to 100, from 100 to 120, and the rejection kept rising and piling up. It kept piling up and rising until they have accumulated about 144 rejections just on the attempt to publish just one novel. After they have conceived about 144 rejections, they finally found a publisher who decided to take them on. Right now, as I'm speaking with you, the rest is history. Now they are such a formidable empire known as the chicken soup for the soul. The book was such a great success that I know by now who rejected them to be asking themselves what they have done wrong by not accepting them earlier on. Today, as I'm speaking with you right now, they have published over 250 books and have become public traded company. And even in Africa, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie found it so much difficult before she published her first novel, Purple Hibiscus, because those white publishers in the US in those days kept telling her that they couldn't find Nigeria in the map. So at the end of the day, he finally found someone who told her that she's going to take a chance on her. And that was how Purple Hibiscus was taken up, and in 2 weeks it was sold to a publisher and it was published, and which opened door for other novels for Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And what about Chinua Achebe? His classic novel Things Fall Apart was thrown aside by the British publisher so many months before they finally got to pay attention to him, and the rest was history. Now, have you ever wondered why authors get so much rejections? Is it a conspiracy or just a norm? You may be wondering whether it's just an intentional approach designed just to punish authors. But let's put straight little statistics on how this thing works and how authors get so much rejections, why it is so difficult to publish a book. Traditional publishers collectively put out thousands of titles every single year, and each of the publishers gets hundreds of submissions every single day and thousands of submissions on a monthly basis. Among all the submissions, 99.9% of the submissions were rejected. And to be very clear, this is not because the rejected manuscripts were all of bad qualities or because they are not good manuscripts or because they are not up to professional standard. No, it is mostly because traditional publishers do not have the capacity to take that much numbers. And the biggest factor is that if they take on a lot of books that is more than what they should, there is no way they are going to make a lot of money selling millions of books or thousands of books on a monthly basis. The sales from the title won't be enough to cover up all the expenses they have incurred in the production of that book. Editing, cover art, design, the marketing, the distribution. And overall, this is simply because the demand for book is generally not so great enough to cover up a lot of catalog of so many authors, which will happen when they accept or take on a lot of manuscripts for publication. In other words, that is just a general knowledge of why traditional publishers may reject a lot of manuscripts from authors, and why it is very difficult to publish your book traditionally. By digging deeper, there are several reasons why a publisher may decide not to publish a particular manuscript. This is because most publishers, if not all of them, have one or more type of book that they would never like to publish. And they may also have some particular reasons why they would not like to publish some particular manuscript that have to do with some particular subject, which may be ranging from a lot of factors, which includes: 1, they may feel like the manuscript is poorly written. 2, they may feel like there is no market for the manuscript. 3, they may feel like the manuscript has a subject about what they do not believe in, or has to do with something that is against their beliefs. Or maybe, just maybe, they do not understand or agree with the theme of the book. However, to increase your chances of getting published by a traditional publisher, it is very advisable that you pay closer attention to the publishers who publish similar books like yours. By submitting to such publishers, there are much likelihood that they are going to take on your manuscript because it is simply what they already used to. Now click your top right corner to watch a video I made about how to get your books approved in schools in Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and to like this video and share it and as many people that you can, and I'll still have to catch you up in the next turn. I really appreciate your time. All I just have to say is bye bye, and I'll catch you up next time. Peace.